This is a movement that challenges you every time you open your mouth. Because you got to think about, am I really living this stuff? I mean, do I really want to collaborate? There's a coalition, right? Y'all got to work together, right? Right. So that means that organizations who used to not speak to other organizations now got to stretch and say, hello. But somehow, after almost 16 years of marriage, she still thinks that she's got the edge on me. But in a lot of ways she does. But the reality is men parent differently from women. Question, has anyone ever seen a child being held up like this? Has anyone ever seen the woman doing that? Well, what this teaches the child risk. It teaches the child that you can take risk and that there's some safety in your risking, but that comes from men. I've never seen a woman walking around throwing the child up, you know? I've never seen a woman taking the child and spinning them. You know, it's the dads that do that kind of stuff. Is that all right? Yeah. And so we're convened together today because there are people out there who obviously want relationships. Many of them don't know how to do it. So we invite them into a class and we tell them, if you do this first, then this, then this, then this. And the guy says, I'm having a hard time, balancing my parenting thing. And the healthy marriage person says, I don't have a lot of experience in fatherhood. Here, take this guy's number. Call him. Generally, what we want to do is to strengthen your relationship. We want to talk about some ways to get your relationship on track and maybe to highlight some things that you could start doing or some things that you might need to stop doing. I know every time I go through here, I figure out some things that I need to stop doing. And that's why I don't let my wife go through it that much. Because she would have a whole lot of things that I needed to.
Well, to get started, the topic for the first date is choosing a high priority marriage. We'll be trying to, discuss and figure out how to accomplish a high priority marriage. This 10 Great Dates curriculum is not only for married couples, it's for engaged couples. So it's for anybody who's in love and who's trying to keep that love alive.
I love him very much. Please help me welcome my dad, Dr. Rosarios.
In the society in which we live, character is not as important to some people as personality. There are a lot of people that have great personalities, and a lot of people can win elections with great personalities. But fifth graders, I want you to know that personality must always bow to character. When single people become parents, almost 90% of the time, one single person is going to be the primary parent. That's why we should advocate for young people to get married first. And then when they're married,
yeah, Rosario's great. I think he makes a lot of good points about families and how we need to really work and help them, and all of us.
I thought Dr. Slack was very good speaker. He was very entertaining, yet he hit home on a lot of subjects, and his presentation was really good.
Mr. Rosario Slack, fantastic. He's always fantastic.
What impacted you the most about his speech today?
His humor in bringing people to paying attention. They are very attentive to what he said.
Very inspiring, dynamic, very dynamic speaker. He makes you want to go back to your community and do even more than what you're doing.
Excellent, absolutely excellent. We enjoyed it.
What did you remember? What impacted you the most?
Just his real life attitude about it.
Dr. Slight was very informative. I think he was probably one of the best of the conference. So much information, his implementation of it really touched home, and I think it's something that I can take back and apply to my
What did you
program.
remember most about what he said?
I think the fact of him talking about training in marriage, that most marriages need training, and I think it's important that we spend so much money on everything in life, cars, but we spend very little money to enhance our marriage.
Very important that, the exciting man, he's been around, you can tell what he had to say.
I think really recommends him to give this message. And I'm gonna do this. Can you hear me? Yeah. What recommends him to do this for me is that he doesn't have any problem with knowing where marriage and fatherhood go. He's got marriage and fatherhood in one fist, inseparable and protected.
Welcome back to Trends on 3. I want you to take a look at something. Take a look at this article in a recent issue of Newsweek magazine. Now, oh father, where art there? Statistics show disturbing rates of absent fathers, something we see in communities across the country, including right here in our area. So what can be done to start putting the family unit back together again and raising young boys to be responsible men and fathers? Joining us once again, Dr. Rosario Slack, a motivational speaker on this topic. Can you point to any one thing that leads to this trend?
There are a myriad of things, and the unfortunate reality is if we take the approach that there's a silver bullet out there, then we miss a whole lot of other issues that are not so apparent. The role of men, that's a huge thing. You know, you can think about, we talked about socialization previously, when young boys they fall down, they're told to stuff their feelings. You know, don't cry.
Men don't cry.
Yes, and so you've got that whole issue going, and then they get into a relationship with a woman who wants them to show themselves. Yes, connect to me. And so it's very, very difficult for boys to even understand what it means to be a man. Absent a male role model, it's even worse, because then they're trying to figure it out either from their friends or from the street or from television.
Which aren't good role models.
Not at all.
When you take a look at this, and absent fathers and unemployment and lack of education and training, boy, a lot to go on there. Where do we start turning this around? What's the first thing? Obviously, we need education, training to get these young men employed, to be able to be responsible fathers.
Well, you know, here again, we pull the thread back. At an early age, if young boys are not taught to read, if they don't read well, then they won't do well in school. If they're not doing well in school, they're probably going to be disruptive. They're going to be in the principal's office. They're going to get labeled. They're going to be in juvenile court pretty soon. They're going to be on the street. So that makes them less likely to be employed. If they're less likely to be employed, they will probably be involved in some type of risky behavior. They may become a father too soon. They become a father too soon, don't have any money. You see,
Right, it just keeps
all
going.
all
It
connected.
just keeps going.
So I think we've got to find ways early to help young boys to read well and to do well in school. The reality is that they're building jails based on the productivity of 3rd and 4th grade boys. And so since they know that...
And that is so sad.
It's very sad.
When you think about that.
But if we know that, why don't we do something in 3rd or 4th grade to make sure that boys are doing well? So we're going to have to find some ways to get men involved and to do some mentoring in the schools, helping the boys with their literacy, helping them with male development. And the other thing is there's got to be a place where we define that you have become a man. You know, most cultures have a rite of passage of some sort. Right. We've got to restore that in our community, because if we don't do something intentional and have a celebration that this is what it means to be a man, and now you've mastered these techniques and you are now pronounced to be a man, they're going to do it the negative way.